Well, good morning, everyone. And how are you? Once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great day. And we want to say hello to a few friends here this morning, as we usually do. And who's up number one today? Mike from Norland, and Brahim, 1 and 2. 2 and 1, 1 and 2. And Andrea, you're always in that trinity. Lori Lee from Ventura, California. Carrie from Nebraska. All at the top of the food chain. And there's Kevin from Oshawa. Mary from Norwich. Nick from our staff. And Sandy from Minnesota. Betty Lynn from Brantford. Yolande, bonjour. Wendy from Markham. And Fran from Orangeville. All our faithful dear friends. Keith, I count you amongst them. Georgie from Halifax, Nova Scotia. And finally, I see Dr. McEwen's name. She's on, but I never see it. Hey, Carol, Moncton, New Brunswick. And Sandra, how are you? Jeanette from our staff. Rita, good morning. Vince, good morning. Chantal, Ottawa, good morning. And did I say good morning to you, friend from Orangeville? Deb, Motown, how are you? Janice, Brampton. Susan, Cape Breton. Veronica, good morning. Jean, how are you from Peterborough? Janine, good morning. Rose, how are you? Lighthouse Cove, sorry. Bonnie and Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Ornella, I like that. Sharon, Kansas. Joyce, Kansas. Nativity, how are you? Couple more, guys. Joni, Laurie, Cambridge. Jeanette. Linda, how are you? And Barbara, Gary, sunny Bolton. Yeah, it's sunny today. Beautiful. Mary and Linda. Couple more, guys. And Dorothy, P-E-I. And I missed it. Carol went up into the cloud. I don't know. Heather. And Carol. And let's see. There's a Linda from Uppsala. Jeanette, how are you? Okay, now guys, I want to go into a little bit about curcumin this morning because there was a new study that just came out and I want to show it to you. But before I do that, let me because I've been asked so much about A1C, okay? What is A1C? It's glycated hemoglobin. Sugar in your bloodstream will attach itself to a red blood cell. That's how they measure A1C. So you can measure your blood sugar. You can do a glucometer and take your blood sugar. I'm not against that. But what is more accurate is an average over 3 months of red blood cells last 3 to 4 months. And they can actually measure the sugar that attaches to the red blood cell, and it actually destroys the red blood cell, and that's why they call it glycated hemoglobin. Just show you how toxic sugar is, okay? So let me get my little whiteboard out, okay? And let me see. Can you see that? Yep. Okay, here you are. So let me just go over A1C again. Okay, here's A1C. A1C 4 to 5.4 is normal. Okay, 4 to 5.4. This is measured the same in Canada and the USA. A1C. Okay, 5.5 to 6.5. In medicine, they call this pre-diabetic. Now, you guys know what I say about that, right? It's Like, when you tell someone they're a pre-diabetic, it's like telling a woman that she's just a little bit pregnant. No such thing. If you're pre-diabetic, you're on the Titanic. You're really diabetic. I'm telling you what medicine says, okay? Medicine says if you're between 4 and 5.4, that's normal, okay? And I pretty well agree with that, okay? I pretty well agree with that. I like your numbers to even be a little bit below 5.4, but that's all right. Insulin resistance starts at 5.4, okay? I'm more interested in your insulin than your sugars in your blood, okay? And A1C, you can get fasting insulin done. I got no problem with that. But I like the A1C. And it's never done me wrong by looking at this, okay? So 4 to 5.4, normal. 5.5 to 6.5, medicine says that's pre-diabetic. I say you're on the Titanic. You're really a diabetic. Effectively, you're a diabetic already. You have insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is no good. It gives you metabolic syndrome. Okay? It gives you metabolic syndrome, and all of metabolic syndrome is the root cause of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, obviously, and Alzheimer's. And it's at a big factor in autoimmune disease with leaky gut. Okay? So this is normal, pretty well circulating insulin. 5.5 to 6.5 pre-diabetic, or you got insulin resistance. 5.4 and up, your insulin resistance, you got high circulating insulin, and that creates inflammation in the body. Inflammation is not Houdini, but when it gets into the body, it starts to destroy blood. First thing that it starts to destroy is blood vessels. And it can be very, very damaging in chronic disease. And then if you're 6.5 or up, well, in medicine's eyes, you're a diabetic. And like I said, you've been a diabetic for a long time. Nobody told you, but you are. Okay? And I've got all these things about sugar, okay, and all the things that it causes here. I wrote this out quite a bit. Sugar, let me just read it to you. Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Yikes. Can you read my writing? Sugar in children, ADHD. Sugar in adults. Okay? The adult brain and sugar, Alzheimer's. Okay? Remember, type 3 diabetes. Diabetes is Alzheimer's. Sugar in teeth. We all know that. Dentists know how destructive sugar is. You know, when people tell me about, and I'll show you on the, when we get into the curcumin. One of the fastest growing cancers is colorectal cancer today. All cancers are up, by the way. Okay? Even lung cancer. Still, imagine people have stopped smoking, mostly, and we still have a lot of lung cancer, and that's because of aldehydes that are a byproduct, used to be a byproduct of smoking, but now are a byproduct of those so-called vegetable oils or seed oils. Okay? Now, sugar in teeth, cavities, but the same sugar will destroy your gut, colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is not coming because you're eating red meat. Colorectal cancer is attacking young people more than ever. So is pancreatic cancer, and so is liver cancer. And I'm telling you, it's because of sugar, my friend. Okay? Sugar in teeth, sugar in skin, glycation, aging. It'll age your skin, not the sun. You know how dermatologists have got everyone in the world believing, oh, the sun will just wrinkle you up like nobody's business. No, sugar will. It used to be smoking, but sugar will. Sugar in the skin, glycation. Sugar in the eyes, glaucoma. How do you like that? Nothing, listen, Linda, all you Lindas out there, all you Larrys out there, nothing will destroy your eyes more than sugar will. Sugar will destroy eyes, glaucoma, cataracts, sugar and your eyeballs, sugar in cells, cancer. Okay, we talked about that already. Sugar in blood, diabetes, obviously, right? A1C, sugar in the blood. It attaches to red blood cells. You can measure it. Okay? Sugar in joints, AGES, advanced glycated end products, they're called. They'll glycate your joints. One of the biggest problems in aging is advanced end products, glycation end products from the amount of sugar that we eat that destroys joints. This is why so many people, when they do the reset and they're not getting any sugar at all for 30 days, they go, holy moly, my pain's gone down. Doc? Hello? Yeah. Okay. So you got the memo about A1C, because people ask me that every day, and that's all right. I want you to ask questions, okay? So let's just put this little chart away, and we're going to talk about just a new study that came out on colorectal cancer, okay? Colorectal cancer, and it came out in May. Jeepers, what is it today? May the what? I don't know. But right out in the 1st of May, this new study came out on curcumin. And what it does to prevent and treat colorectal cancer. Okay? May 2024. Hot off the presses. Okay? Now, let's just, before we get in this, I want to talk about 3 main things that curcumin. Okay, now remember, guys, when I do these on these whiteboards here, I flunked art. Okay, I couldn't even draw a stick man. I remember teachers giving us extra recess if they could read my writing. They must have known I was going to be a doctor right from the start. The way I wrote, okay? Now, curcumin. 1, it crosses the blood-brain barrier, okay? So you have a barrier between your blood and your brain, okay? Called the BBB, blood-brain barrier. You also have a barrier between your gut and your blood. The gut-blood barrier. Why is that? Well, because your body's smart, fearfully and wonderfully made. Your blood should be pristine. Okay? It's the river of life. You want your blood to contain red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets to clot the blood, and nutrients. When you eat, how do you think from your head to your toes, how do you think you get nutrition? How does it get delivered? By the river of life. Okay? The Bible says the life of the flesh is in the blood. That just shows you how accurate that is. Medicine about 200 years ago used to take blood out of you because they thought, well, if you got an infection, let's take your blood out. No, you give blood. Blood will save your life. Right? Okay? So, you get all your nutrients in your blood, your protective mechanism, your white blood cells, your oxygen delivery, your red blood cells. And by the way, red blood cells, okay, they go by your lungs. Think about this for a minute. How unbelievable this is. They go by your lungs and you breathe. Okay? And your red blood cells are going by your lungs, and the hemoglobin, we talked about it earlier with the glycated hemoglobin, A1C. Your red blood cells pick up oxygen. Okay? It's called hemoglobin. That's a sticky substance within your red blood cell. Takes oxygen. But you can't put pure oxygen through your blood vessels. You could get a pulmonary embolism. So your body automatically converts that oxygen to an inert gas. That oxygen is delivered to your tissue, and then it's converted back to oxygen. Isn't that wonderful? And then on the way back, it becomes a waste management truck. Okay? Oxygen delivered, carbon monoxide, okay? All the waste is put back into the red blood cell, okay? But you can't bring carbon monoxide, okay, you can't have that in your blood. It poison you. So your body changes that. That's where it uses sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. And it sends it back to your lungs and you breathe it out. As carbon what? Dioxide. That's why they want to get rid of us on the planet for climate change. Because we're breathing. Guys, I get a headache when I hear that stuff, okay? As if breathing is bad. Oh, anyway. Okay, so back to curcumin. Curcumin crosses the blood-brain barrier. Now, what is curcumin? Okay, just in case you don't know. Curcumin is an extract of turmeric. Okay? Now, turmeric, okay, is a wonderful spice. So good for you. The problem with turmeric is its bioavailability, meaning if your body can use it, it uses it, obviously, but not therapeutically, okay? Not therapeutically because it's not bioavailable enough. It's the extract, and that's called curcumin. That is the real key, okay? I give you another example, okay? Pine bark, okay? Now, okay? Pine bark, the natives, the indigenous people, the First Nation people, they used to use it, okay? Before Canada was Canada. They used to use it for medicinal purposes. They'd make you a tea or make themselves a tea with pine bark, and they would drink it. And they knew it was good for them. And Jacques Cartier found that out too, okay? But what really makes pine bark therapeutic is the extract, pine bark extract. And it's 50 times more powerful than ascorbic acid, vitamin C. Okay? Because of its properties in that form, the extract. Okay? So we're talking about an extract here. Okay? So curcumin, okay, crosses the blood-brain barrier, and studies have shown that it is very anti-inflammatory for the brain. Now, we talked earlier about inflammation, how that inflammation is on your side till it's not. Okay? What do I mean by that? Well, if you have a fever, you're inflamed. What do you think hurts so much? You got a fever. You got the chills. You don't feel good. You got a cold. And my wife calls it a man cold. You got a man cold. You know what that means? We're big babies. Men are big babies. Okay? And she said, you got a man cold. You're in bed. And you're crying. You're complaining. And men would never have babies. Well, we'd have one, but we'd never have another one. And by the way, in case you're wondering, men can't have babies, okay? Oh, what a world we live in that we even have to talk about that. Anyway, okay? So inflammation is on your side. You got a fever. It's the ambulance system. It's bringing extra cytokines. It's bringing extra blood supply. It's bringing extra enzymes. It's the body's ambulance system. More white blood cells are coming. More macrophages and all these things. They're on your side until that inflammation doesn't go away. Now it can become destructive. It will destroy your blood vessels. It will take away from the endothelial the Teflon of your blood vessels. They're not as slippery, so they start getting sticky. That's very difficult, very bad for heart disease and high blood pressure and plaque. That's how you get plaque. Inflammation. It's not cholesterol. If cholesterol's at the crime scene, it's the good guy. It's the fireman. It's trying to put the fire out. It's the policeman. They're at the crime scene. They're the good guys. It's not cholesterol, it's inflammation. Gone amok. Okay? Because you're eating sugar. That's one of the biggest causes. And inflammation, insulin resistance. Okay, now. Back to the blood-brain barrier. Because curcumin goes across the blood-brain barrier, it is very anti-inflammatory. That's good. Studies showing that curcumin can prevent Parkinson's. Okay? Because of its anti-inflammatory properties. Okay? It's showing that it's good to protect from MS because it repairs the myelin. And by the way, in Parkinson's, the key word there is dopamine. Okay? Now, dopamine, when in Parkinson's, they have very, very low levels of dopamine. And that's really important in Parkinson's because then they get the tremors, they get the stiffness, and all the things that go with Parkinson's have a lot to do with dopamine. And curcumin helps this area. It helps in myelin repair too for MS. And it helps your memory. Oh, guys, I want to tell you something. When you get my age, you really want to protect that brain, don't you? You really want to protect the memory. Okay? It's just about every day I see somebody suffering from dementia, either small vessel or Parkinson's dementia or Alzheimer's. It's never, never, never any fun when people lose their memory. I don't want to lose my memory, guys. Okay? I do everything I can to protect my memory. Okay? So memory helps because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And a new study out too on it shows it decreases the damage from strokes. Okay? It will protect you from a stroke, but also decreases the damage from someone that already has had a stroke. Very, very recuperative curcumin. Okay? Again, it's an extract of turmeric. Now, May 2024, I showed you this, cancer. It decreases, it decreases the risk and is used as a therapeutic in colorectal cancer. Hot off the presses. The press was impressed with curcumin and what it does in the treatment of colorectal cancer. Guys, it's one of my go-tos. It's one of my go-tos when it comes to cancer. Okay? Things that I highly recommend because of the studies, especially colorectal, and the other one is liver cancer. These two cancers, colorectal, liver, are on steroids today. They're so prevalent in our society today. It's crazy the amount of cancer there is today. And these two cancers are just going up like crazy. Colorectal, and it ain't steak. And I'll tell you why it isn't. Well, just from statistics, red meat consumption is down by 30% in the last 20 years. People are not eating near as much red meat. They think salad is better than red meat, because it ain't. And they think broccoli is better than meat, and it ain't. And they think kale. You're not a rabbit. But people believe that. Oh, I don't want to get cancer. I better stop eating red meat because I'm going to become acidic. Oh, I'm going to spell it out for you when we do a pH thing, okay? I want to go over that again. I want you to understand pH, okay? I really want you to understand it. And perhaps most of you do already. But it's always good to go over. So what they're showing with curcumin, okay? What they're showing is it is very effective. A new study out in May on colorectal and curcumin and liver cancer. Boy, liver cancer today. Well, no wonder. The Costco parking lot, the liver, is overburdened today with fatty liver because of the amount of sugar we eat. I was explaining this to the other day when I was talking about the consumption. Okay? I've been on the planet long enough to tell you this, guys. In the history of sugar, in the 1950s, did I have cookies and ice cream? Yep. At grandma's. Grandma's, you know what? Grandparent, if I'd have known grandchildren that much fun, we'd have had them first, okay? And we don't say no to our grandchildren. But they all know, Grandpa, you and sugar, right? You're always talking about it. Yeah, I know, okay? But listen, I had cookies and ice cream. But the average North American, listen to this, consumed 25 pounds of sugar a year. Okay, let me put this back up for a second. Sugar, 8 times more addictive than cocaine. 25 pounds in the 1950s. My kids, I've got 4 of them. They were born in the 1970s, all 4 of them. Okay? You know how much sugar was being consumed in the 1970s? On average, a 50-pound bag went from 25 pounds to 50 pounds. And then something really, 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 really bad happened. They changed the sugar. They went from sugar to high fructose corn syrup. They went from glucose to fructose. Oh, that sounds good, Doc. Fructose, isn't that from fruit? Yeah, but you're meant to eat fruit, not to drink it. And this is a liquefied, made in a lab corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup. The antichrist of sugars. And we went from 25 pounds of glucose, 1970s, to 50 pounds of glucose. In 1980, they switched the sugar. Whoop! And they went to high fructose corn syrup, and they couch it with 100 different names. And you know what, folks? You know what we're at now? A dump truck load of high fructose corn syrup. It's in everything. And you know what? We're up to almost around 200 pounds a year on average. A year. 25 pounds in the 1950s a year. 50 pounds in the 1970s a year. And now we're at almost 200 pounds. A dump truck. Your body, a child's body, was never meant for high fructose corn syrup. Ever. Under any circumstances. It's the antichrist of sugars, my friend. And I've been screaming since the 1980s. Stop! Don't consume. It's more addictive than cocaine. It takes a root in your brain, the same root that when someone gets cocaine. I never tried cocaine, and I don't plan on trying it, okay? And I recommend you don't either. But this is how addictive sugar is, my friend. We live in a world, and the answer is right in front of us, folks. Right in front of us. And we're not getting the memo. You guys are. But the world's not. Okay? And the world's not. Okay? And the last one, just finished with this, pain relief. Now look at, guys, I'm just giving you study results, okay? Results of studies. And they put curcumin up against ibuprofen, okay, and acetaminophen, Tylenol, and Advil. You know, those are the general names that you know. And those things, by the way, when you look at Tylenol sends more people to the emergency than almost anything else. Did you know that? Tylenol, the side effects of it, very damaging to the liver. Advil, very damaging to the kidneys. Now, look, if you take a Tylenol here, now look, I don't want to fight, okay? I'm not fighting with you. I just want to give you information, okay? And in curcumin, in studies, in terms of pain relief, does what Tylenol and Advil and the studies are saying, of course, without the side effects. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you the studies, okay? Okay, guys. Okay, a little bit of teaching with the whiteboards today. Maybe we'll do this a few times. I kind of enjoyed it. I don't know about you. You guys give me the feedback. Maybe you can't even read that. I don't know. I can read it. Can you? Okay. Guys, Friday is question and answer Friday. So send your questions. And for the last several weeks, it's been question and answer Friday and Monday. And I love answering your questions. Okay? My audience, the smartest. The doctor is in audience, the smartest. Why is that? Because you ask questions. Okay? I'm sure if I had if I was live with you, you guys were sitting in my audience live, not on this video. You'd have your hand up all the time, asking questions. Hey, what about this? And you just said something. What about that? And I like that. I really do. Okay, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.